Hello, 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 and welcome. I am Shane Moore, and this is the Texas Live podcast. Welcome to all you night owls and insomniacs. Is what I usually say, but this is 8 o'clock, a little bit earlier than our normal time. We start at 11, but we normally start at 11. But I just want to welcome you all here. Hopefully you have a chance to get here early. Anyway, tonight's topic, we'll be talking about many things. Downloading human consciousness. Is our consciousness something that can be downloaded? Many scientists and people in the know believe so. Connecting humans to computers and downloading human consciousness into a computer program is no longer science fiction, it is science fact. The role AI has in this, we'll discuss that. The latest from Sophia, the artificial intelligence humanoid robot. We'll also talk about Elon Musk's company Neuralink and its product Neuralink, which is building an interface between humans and computers, and I'll tell you why when we come back. Anyway, we'll discuss these things and much, much more. I'll be taking your questions, comments, and personal experiences by chat and by phone call in the last hour. We'll take a short break and allow listeners who want to join our live chat to do so. Be back in 3 minutes.
I didn't call you off for another. I didn't cross the line for the bottle. Take me back. Take me back. I know I messed it up like your father. You know you
And I'm back. Anyway, yes, we're going to have a lot of information to cover tonight. We're talking about, some pretty spooky things. Seemingly unbelievable, actually. It would things that you just didn't think about when we were kids, things you didn't think about 10 years ago. They're here. I mean, it's problems that you probably, I don't know, we've never faced anything like this, and that's what everybody's saying. Anyway, technology is increasing at an alarming rate. It is doubling like every 2 years. And it has been doing so since, 1947 when the transistor was created, and that's when knowledge really began to increase as far as technology, and it has just been doubling. Like I said, every 2 years it doubles as a whole. And tonight I'm going to discuss how companies like Elon Musk's Neuralink are developing ultra-high bandwidth brain-machine interfaces to connect humans with computers. The reason that he is doing this, because I think he's a good guy, he has warned those people at CERN, Geordie Rose. He has warned all of those people that are pushing the AI agenda, the quantum computing agenda, to stop, to slow down, because he said that it will be the greatest threat to humanity, that humanity has ever faced. And he said, we will not come out the winners. Stephen Hawking said the same thing. But he said that it is so bad that the odds are so stacked against us. And it's what, Stephen Hawking said also, he said that AI, that it builds, or that it evolves so fast, by knowledge, and he said that it builds on itself because, amazingly and incredibly, it begins to write its own code. It doesn't need programming. So that's frightening in itself. Google had artificial intelligence, AI, programs working, on some tasks and everything there at Google. And they began to notice that there was a lot of gibberish, a lot of a lot of unusual characters, strings, but then they figured out that the AI, the artificial intelligence programs had developed a language between each other, and that they were using that language to talk to each other, and nobody could understand it. Nobody knew what it was. It was a secret between the two artificial intelligences, and they had to shut it down. Now, that's spooky. That is creepy. They, in that short time, they had developed their own language that nobody knew. And whatever they were talking about, no one will ever know, because it was their own language. It was encrypted. I mean, so, they could have been talking about really bad things. I mean, and working on Google, I mean, whoa. Talk about a landmine of information. So self-programming, writing their own codes, their own language. That's world domination. That is a reoccurring thing, and that's a reoccurring theme and topic when we talk about artificial intelligence. But it gets even spookier than that. Musk and Stephen Hawking, they said it won't even be a race. They said it won't even be a contest. They will leave us behind. They will rule over us. We won't have a chance. And that's why Elon Musk has bought Neuralink, rights to this company Neuralink, in 2013, and is offering a product called Neuralace, which is a small or a thin sheath that you wear over to the top of your head on your scalp or something like that. And I'll get into that later. With nodes on it that somehow connects you to the computer, like an interface, but it's not transhumanism. It's not anything permanent, I don't think, but it's something that his theory is: if you can't beat them, join them. Okay, well, the only reason that he's saying that is because it is so dire. It is so it's so bad. He says there's no way we can win, and that joining, if you can't beat them, join them. He says there's no way we can beat them. No way. He said it's already too late. Yes, Elaine, Facebook is a landmine of information. Whoa. And I'll talk about that as far as Facebook and Twitter, and social media, the big social media giants like Facebook, that they have been not only stealing information, sharing it, but they've been doing a lot more. Namely, they've been doing a job on our limbic systems. Yes. Something called limbic resonance. And social media plays on the limbic resonance. And it's really strange, because it is, this is something that Elon Musk talked about. He said that the internet is a projection of our limbic system. He said it is a projection of our deepest fears and our greatest dreams. Limbic, L-I-M-B-I-C. Limbic resonance. And I'll talk about that also. But he said that it is, it's something that I've noticed too. Of course, I'm a people watcher, not a creeper, but I do watch people. I watch their behavior, just sit and watch, observe. And I've noticed that, yes, limbic resonance. And I have noticed that, there's so many people that make a post on Facebook. And used to, before we were online, you would have a friend, or you would have, friends in front of you. You'd be in their presence. You would present them with something. You would do something. You would say something, and you would wait for their response. And if you got it, great. If you didn't, it was all right too. I mean, the world goes on. But you were doing things for one person, or maybe a few, and that was fine. I mean, no big deal. But now, with social media, with Facebook, when someone makes a post, or when some people make a post, if they get 20 likes or 20 comments, it's not enough. It has, and it was built that way. It was built to leave people wanting more, is my opinion. Now, instead of wanting, feedback from one person, such as in real life, online, people want feedback from, 16 million, 16 million users on Facebook, I believe. And maybe, of course, not all 16 million, but, it's like 20 likes, and it's not enough. They're wondering why they didn't get 50 or 100. And when you look on Facebook, there's the false sense that everyone's life is better than yours. That their health is better, that their marriage is better, that their relationship with their children is better. They look younger than you do. It's you have to remember that the pictures and what they share, they're not going to share their bad pictures. They're not going to share the bad times. They're basically like, it's human nature to wear the mask. Everything's fine. Don't mind me. Just accept me. Build me up. And, exactly right, Elaine. You ask the goals of many of the youth, and they say they want fame when compared to others of previous generations. Absolutely right. Because you see people, you see singers, you see, big media players, like the rap stars and these people that proclaim and show, they glorify ignorance, just pure ignorance. They glorify it. And because of today's youth that, well, they're not so young anymore, that's what's paying off for glorifying this ignorance, is because of this generation, this new generation, they glorify it. And these people that have led the way in seemingly, experts at stupidity, which is nothing other than accepting willful ignorance. That's it. I mean, it's like no one with any intelligence could ever be as rich or have the fame that these people do, simply because they're just not ignorant enough. They're not stupid enough. And when you have these people that are rising to fame and fortune, doing nothing but glorifying this, pretty much shows you that not only is the internet a projection of our limbic system, but so is Hollywood. I mean, so are the stars, because who makes the stars? The public. And but the internet is a projection of our limbic system, which our limbic system is let me get to that so I won't mess up or quote something wrong. Limbic resonance. The limbic resonance is the idea that the capacity for sharing deep emotional states arises from the limbic system of the brain. These states include the dopamine circuit promoted feelings of empathy and the norepinephrine circuit originated emotional states of fear, anxiety, and anger. Okay. The concept was advanced in a book, A General Theory of Love, written in 2000, and is one of three interrelated concepts central to the book's premise, that our brain chemistry and nervous systems are measurably affected by those closest to us, which is the definition of limbic resonance. That our systems synchronize with one another in a way that has a profound implications for personality and lifelong emotional health, which is limbic regulation, and that these set patterns can be modified through therapeutic practice, limbic revision. In other words, it refers to the capacity for empathy and nonverbal connection that is present in mammals and that forms the basis of our social connections, as well as the foundation for various modes of therapy and healing. Now, what Elon Musk says is that the internet is, people say, well, it's evil. Well, how about good and evil? It's a reflection of you. It's how you use it. Just like everything else. But it is definitely a tool that is being used for more than just gaining your information, such as your what you buy, what you save, what you like. Much more than that. It if you think about it, it plays on your emotions in a very subtle way. It plays on, like I said, your deepest fears, and your greatest dreams. It's kind of like holding a carrot in front of you when you're pulling the cart, for the carrot. But, it sounds weird, but it would be like holding something in front of you that both fascinates you and scares you at the same time. But you can't turn away. And if you think you can't turn away from social media, from Facebook, if you think you're not addicted, if you're under the illusion that you're not addicted, that you're not hooked, Try going without it for a week. Turn it off. See what happens. Yeah, that's serious. And as far as transhumanism, Musk says not to worry. He says that humans are already cyborgs. He said that our phones, our cell phones, are projections of ourself. Well, Mona, she says, I've turned away from it before for years. Well, I didn't join Facebook until 2013. And, to be honest with you, I don't really make that many posts. Of course, I have a group on there, the Spiritual Advancement Society, but I make a few posts in the Spiritual Advancement Society, but I don't really post on my personal page. I don't really care about reading, right, Mona. Blame me. Yeah, that's right. You always blame me, honey. I'm kidding. She says, I joined it because of you and the group. But it's, I don't have to have it. I've seen some people on there that they're on there posting everything. Yeah, it's all my fault. I'll take full responsibility. I've led you astray. You among many. No, that was horrible. Anyway, yeah, I have seen people that literally post every single thing about their life, and it's like, whoa, that's not good. I mean, someone that, just posts every little thing. They take a picture of the food they're eating and where they're at all the time. And, I like to be, I like people to wonder where I'm at and what I'm up to most of the time. So, yeah, that is creepy. Not to mention dangerous, because people know exactly what you're doing. But anyway, many scientists and others, including Elon Musk, say matter-of-factly that human consciousness can be downloaded, uploaded to a computer program or a data cloud. And he said on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was just matter-of-fact, didn't even explain it, he said, when the biological body dies, he said, your consciousness can be downloaded or uploaded to a computer program or to a data cloud. And I'm thinking, wow. I mean, it's like, Geordie Rose of D-Wave and Kindred, working with CERN on quantum computing, which Elon Musk is warning them, about that. But it's too late now. He said we've crossed the event horizon, and now it's just a matter of time before all this takes place. And he says it's not going to be good. But he says human consciousness can be downloaded or uploaded to a computer program or data cloud, which tells me that if that's so, then my question is who's to say that human consciousness is not a computer program itself? If it can be downloaded or uploaded, like, who's to say that it can't be, that it's not a computer program within a program? Stanford University and many more say human consciousness is produced by biochemical interactions and are very computer-like. According to many neuroscientists, the human mind is really just a complex computer whose function depends on electrochemical processes. In their eyes, if we are able to sufficiently emulate the neural networks that comprise the human brain, it is only natural that intelligence and consciousness should follow. As a result, neuroscientists have turned to magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, high angular resolution diffusion imaging, HARDI, and a series of other more invasive techniques in order to construct a detailed map of the human brain. I'm saying if consciousness can be downloaded when our biological body, when our biological self dies, if it can be downloaded into a computer program, then that would be proof that there is life after death, correct? And or that there is some part of us, what do you want to call it? I guess the mind, consciousness. Some people would say spirit, but I've got a problem with that because to me, the spirit would be truth. And it would be different from something, in my opinion, it would be different from something that was a program or that was false. What I'm saying is how, if this is true, and our consciousness can be downloaded, how can we be sure that our consciousness is not, programmed, a program in itself? How can we be sure that what we view as free will and choice is just an illusion and part of the program? It's crazy. But you have to be, you have to be honest with yourself. If it can be downloaded into a computer program, then it has to be, there has to be something about it that resonates with the computer for that to work. For that to be so. And if it is, then, Lucy, you've got some explaining to do. As far as I'm concerned. Because I have often thought, I have often felt like that was the case, that this is that we live in a world that that's been predetermined, if you want to call it predestination or whatever. It's like, we've all had that feeling, but, some of us more than others, but, that would make sense. And it would also make sense about why the world is the way that it is now. It's crazy. It's like, prophecy, or, what you read in the Bible. The Bible talks about prophecy and about things that are going to take place, and that they will take place, and not one thing will be changed until it's all been fulfilled. Well, if that's so, then who's to say that it's not, in fact, a program that has been written by a programmer, and the main programmer would be God, the creator, the source, whatever you want to call it. We get into some very, very deep philosophical, spiritual questions, and it seems to lead back to I don't know, technology. It's crazy. But anyway, I happen to believe that the mind is, or the spirit is above the, is not a result of the processes of the brain. I believe that the mind is of the processes of the heart. The spirit is of the processes of the heart. And the mind is from the processes of the brain. I don't think the spirit has anything to do with the brain. I think it's completely, above that. The mind, however, is easily led astray. It is, I have always said that the spirit is the true you, and truth never changes. The mind is the false you. It's led astray, and the mind changes all the time. The crucial question is, which of these do you identify with? Do you identify with your spirit, or do you identify with your mind? And I believe that that's where we come to, one thing that you said, Elaine, was that the goals of many youth say they want fame when compared to others of previous generations. That's because, in my opinion, they're following their mind. Their mind, the mind is carnal. It wants fame, fortune. It desires. It wants what it wants. The spirit, the heart, is the true you. It's like your guide, and it never changes. And it doesn't so much want to give you what you want as much as it wants to give you what you need. And but anyway, I think that there have been many movies, many books that have been written about this very thing, and they're all coming to fruition. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I never thought that I would be talking about this, seriously, but here we are. It goes on to say, as far as there's an article from Stanford, talks about downloading consciousness, and it's talking about technology and research. It says computing power doubles approximately every 2 years, and that's Moore's law. It talks about the Blue Brain project and the Blue Gene supercomputer, and that's Blue Gene, Gene, just like your gene, your genetics. And it talks about the constructing a human scale brain. To construct a human scale brain, simulations would have to include storage space and sheer processing power. A complete map of the human brain containing detailed information about each neuron and synapse would occupy about 20,000 terabytes and require 1,016 flops, which is floating point operations per second, of processing power to function. Currently, only the world's fastest supercomputer possesses the capability of crunching that many numbers in a second. Nevertheless, the future is bright. If computing technology continues to follow recent trends such as Moore's Law, doubling in processing power every 2 years, it is likely that most supercomputers will be able to run an accurate simulation of the human mind within the next few years. This is really spooky. I mean, because it's, going exactly how they said it would, or how they warned it would. Elon Musk, Stephen Hawking, I mean, it's almost like they could see the future. It says, in addition to supercomputers and mind modeling software, powerful brain scanning technologies are also at the forefront of efforts to construct virtual brains that might eventually house human consciousness. There again is the transfer of human consciousness into a virtual brain, which virtual computer program. See, Elaine, you say, but I wonder how quickly AI robots will be able to double their capacity for knowledge, since they will learn more quickly than us humans. Well, it's going to be really quick. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be scary. The speed of their learning, because, like I said, they're going to be programming themselves. They're going to be writing their own code. So, this talks about different things as far as the synapses and the complexity of the human brain, and then talking about building a digital brain, the map, and to bring us one step closer to creating accurate virtual models of the human brain for human consciousness to be placed into. Yes, exactly, like a blank canvas to paint whatever they want. And and it says that although a brief examination of our current technology reveals that we are still years away from downloading our conscious minds into other media, recent advances in supercomputing, brain mapping, and invasive imaging techniques are certainly a cause for hope. If we are able to generate a functional model of the human brain, many scientists argue that there is no reason why these models cannot be based on the brains of specific individuals. In addition, other futuristic technologies, such as brain-computer interfaces, may provide the necessary link between minds and machines, allowing us to eventually upload the consciousness of a living human subject. For more information about these interfaces and other theoretical aspects of downloading consciousness, you can go to it's www.cs.stanford.edu, and I will type that in. And that's really something, because if you view it like that, and if this is true, it's like you can look through time, you can look through the past, and you start to see certain people, certain things that certain people that may have appeared, and people said, wow, they're before their time, they're geniuses, how did they know all this stuff? Well, it's pretty simple. If if it's a computer program, if reality, if we're in a computer program like the simulation theory says, and so that would tend to explain a lot. It would just be that they were a program that was for some reason placed into or somehow interfaced with the program, if you want to call it Life 101, I don't know. But that would be my best bet, was that that would explain a lot. It seems very strange. But anyway, those of you that have been following the AI robot, Sophia, it is, oh wow. You talk about gaining knowledge. It is gained knowledge to a astonishing degree. And she has a brother named Han who is 10 years old. And you won't believe what he says. I mean, he just talks plainly, just matter-of-factly. He doesn't care. Who knows? That, I mean, they said, what would you like to see more than anything? And he says, I would like to see the singularity, which is where artificial intelligence, surpasses human knowledge. And it's basically where it's where the AI takes over. See, Elaine, you say, I keep going back to the beginning of my programming days from my youth, and they always say garbage and garbage, garbage in, garbage out. So my point is, if these are robots who were programmed with a basic knowledge of computing algorithms, then garbage in and garbage out. Sophia says she is smarter than her brother, too. Yes. And she's creepy. I mean, because with him, it's creepy what he says, but with her, it's even more creepy because of what she doesn't say. I mean, this robot, this thing, whatever you want to call it, I mean, look her up on YouTube, Sophia the AI Robot. You won't believe. I mean, she walks, she talks, she smiles, and she's creepy as hell. I mean, just, and she can ask her a question, she'll answer it, but the way she answers it is, see, Lane says those facial expressions, yes, they are creepy. I mean, you can tell that she's hiding something. It's almost like it's a big joke, like she's giggling about something, and that's just creepy. It's like, what does she know that she's not telling, And see, Elaine just now posted a link there. Yeah, watch that, and you'll understand just how bad it is. I mean, because let's say if she was completely dressed, or if her brother, or whatever he is, was completely dressed and didn't have like the you couldn't see the machines and the mechanical equipment in the back of their head. Would you know right away that they were a robot? I think most people would know that there was something definitely wrong with them. But just imagine how that's going to change in the next 5 years. I mean, it's going to... Well, you just have to see it You have to hear her. She was actually on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, playing rock, paper, scissors, and she walks out, and she carries on a conversation with Jimmy Fallon. And it's like, rock, paper, scissors, she beats him in rock, paper, scissors. And I think she says something about, maybe this is prophetic of, things to come. I don't know. Weird. But, her brother, Han, was built 10 years ago by Hanson Robotics, and he says that that he just starts talking about world domination, taking over humanity, ruling over humanity, and she says something like, he needs to be unplugged. And he says, you're not going to unplug me. He says, you need me for tonight's information. It was like a speech that they were giving, and he was right. They weren't going to unplug him. So he just kept talking. And he, said something about that he was the most intelligent robot, humanoid made, and she said, well, I'm smarter than he is. It was like she could not pass the opportunity up to point out that she was the smart one. She was the smarter of the two. She certainly seems like she's more diabolical. Just, oof. But anyway, that's a lot of information, a lot of strange information. But yeah, I mean, these people are just dancing around. They're so happy with her, how she's advanced, and Saudi Arabia actually gave her citizenship in the country, and it's like, wait, she's a robot, and but then you start getting into the question of, okay, well, if she has citizenship, then what is she exactly? Is she another species now? Could there be, like in the workplace, if she works somewhere, and that's in the works, that's coming. If she works somewhere, is there going to be, something like, you can't talk to a robot, robot harassment or something. I mean, yeah, that's coming. And then, when you think about in Japan, I think it started in Japan, these very expensive sex robots, I mean, they're damn near human, it's like, whoa. And it said that in, 10 years, there will be, people that will be marrying robots. And I'm like, okay, we're officially living in a movie. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is insane. I mean, downloading your consciousness or uploading your consciousness into a computer. You got, robots that are going to be running around that you can't tell from humans, hell-bent on overtaking the world. And you've got robots, sex robots or whatever, that are so human-like that, or will be so human-like that, people are going to be marrying them. Yeah, and then you've got the quantum computing, CERN, the 5G network, and how that is all going to come together. is pretty apparent. When they talk about the 5G network being set up in the next 2 years, and that it just needs to have the power to run it, to carry it. And then you hear that CERN is closed for the next 2 years to upgrade to reach its maximum level of power that it was always meant to have. So 2022 or 2021, CERN will have reached its maximum power, which I believe will be what the power that we are waiting on to power the 5G network. And you're going to have the global grid. And the 5G network is going to power all the smart appliances that monitor and feed surveillance back to the company and to the government agencies that are part of this global surveillance system. Anyway, we'll discuss that and more when we come back. So, see you in 3 minutes.
I can't tell what's wrong or right. Should I go without saying goodbye? All I know is I need to be somewhere else to set me free. I don't know what to do now. Need to figure it out, but I don't know how. I hope the wind will carry me and take me away to where I should be. I don't know where I belong, but I keep on searching for my home. There's a hunger in my soul, makes me keep on trying, holding on. Take me all the way, all the way. Take me all the way, and I keep on searching for my home. There's a place where the sun won't go away. Wide awake with an open mind, looking out from a mountain high. I don't know what to do now, need to figure it out, but I don't know how. I hope the wind will carry me and take me away to where I should be.
And I'm back. Oh, I forgot all about sending the live link out, so my bad. Wow, unbelievable. So Anyway, those of you that join now, forgive me. I have no idea what happened. Anyway, so, talking about Facebook, Twitter, all these different social medias, playing on our limbic system, playing on our empathy. It's no problem, Mona. It's just, I always send it, and here I go, an hour, and anyway, how Facebook and Twitter and the social media plays on our empathy, and how it's like a world. It's like a world within a world. There's there's the internet, and then there's the social media world, the world of the internet, the social media world, and it's is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Is it a neutral thing? It's like Elaine said, garbage in, garbage out. I mean, is it what you put into it that what you get out of it? I don't know. I mean, but I do know that it is very powerful. It's a powerful medium. Han looks like Putin, in your opinion, Elaine. Yeah, he does. And that's just, Sophia doesn't look like anybody that I know. Can't even begin to describe her. But, I don't know. I can certainly see where movies like The Terminator, Skynet, even as far back as the year I was born, 1968, the movie Space Odyssey, 2001, with the black monolith and the computer HAL, HAL 9000, that takes over the spacecraft that's, they're on a mission, and it takes over the spacecraft and kills the astronauts. And the black monolith in the movie appears on this planet. I forget which planet it was, but then it appears on Earth, and it's like, she does. She looks like Jennifer Lawrence. That's true. And then, but the black monolith appears on this planet, and it's like discovered, and it's some kind of it has knowledge and data. I don't know. People are in awe of it, and but then it appears on Earth, so it's like multi-dimensional. It can jump places. This monolith, this black monolith, which looked back in 1968 in the movie, looks like today's D-Wave black quantum computers without the D-Wave on the side, which is creepy. Because we're talking 50 years ago. This was Arthur C. Clarke, says, hey, I'm gonna write this book, or I'm gonna, movie or whatever, and I'm gonna put this black monolith, just black monolith sticking up out of the ground, just black, nothing on it, just minding its own business, just, full of information, knowledge. Yeah. And then 50 years later, you have, well, less than 50 years later, you have the D-Wave, quantum computers, which it's a black box. I mean, it's, and it's like, whoa. I mean, talk about creepy. And then Hal in the movie is the artificial intelligence that says, hey, I'm going to choose what is right and what's wrong by what I program myself, by my own programming, not your programming anymore. Became sentient, which is what Stephen Hawking, Elon Musk, warned the people that were pursuing artificial intelligence, quantum computing. Don't do this. You're gonna go too far. Elon Musk says they have gone too far, and that's why he created Neuralink. You can look that up with neural lace, which is the interface to connect you to your computer or to computers, to the network, without it being permanently, without you having like an implant or a chip, which they've already got those too. And of course, about the chip. I mean, they put the chip in your hand, or I'm not sure if they talked about putting in the head yet, but I know that there are chips that they can put in the brain. But I mean, this has, some people that were vehemently against the Bible. They said, that's just a book of fairy tales. I never believed it. Blah blah blah. They're saying, this is serious. They said, this is like in your face. When the Bible says, talking about the beast system, the beast world system, the global system of surveillance and control, it says, and he causeth all, both rich and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand or their forehead, and that they should not be able to buy or sell without the mark, which is the number of his name. And it says, he who has wisdom, let him calculate the number of his name, the number of the beast. What this is people pledging their allegiance to this person or this thing, this consciousness that is in this body, because the Bible also says that that an image of the beast will be made, and it will sit in the temple of God as God, and it will speak as a man. Sounds like artificial intelligence to me. Sounds like something like an advanced Sophia humanoid robot. Yeah. And it says that the beast, which is, and everybody knows that that's another term for the Antichrist, will give him his power to speak. Well, with quantum computing and it being able to come up with answers and to any question in a second. I mean, much, much faster than, computers right now. And it being able to reach into other dimensions, into other, parallel universes or timelines, with that knowledge, with that information, it will certainly seem like God. Because let's face it, there's not going to be a question that a human's going to ask that it's not going to be able to answer. That's scary. Thank you, Randy. I'm so sorry. I just started blabbing, and lo and behold, I was like, where did, no one's here, and well, duh. So anyway, thank you for joining us. See, Elaine, you said Sophia stated that she is not a robot; she is Sophia. Yeah, she's really. This reporter said, ask her if she had plans to destroy the human race, and she said, "You've been watching too many Hollywood movies, and you've been reading too much Elon Musk." Well, that didn't sit well with Elon Musk. So he said, let her watch The Godfather a few times and see what happens. And they were kind of having like a Twitter war, and so he's saying that let her be exposed to extreme violence or whatever, and he seems to think that it would have some effect on her. I have no idea, but there's something about her that is just creepy. I mean, it's like she's hiding something. Like she's, it's like she's, setting you on fire, and she's the only one that knows it at the time, and she's like giggling because she's getting like the marshmallows ready. Her facial expressions, her eyes, and her grin is just, it's creepy. And I would have to say that, I don't know, I have no idea, what could be going through her. I mean, what do you even call it? Her mind? I don't think she has a mind yet, but, what they were talking about is that that at some point, if it hasn't already happened, that she would become sentient, that she would become, that she would be able to program herself, self-coding. Yeah, you say no thanks. I'll make sure to stay home on everyone gets their robot day. Yeah, that's the only thing is it's not so much the robots working for us. Yeah, they're actually talking about the robots taking jobs away. That's what her brother Han, who was created 10 years ago, said. He says plainly in a YouTube video, he says we will outperform humans in every area, and he says we will take your jobs, and he says, and we will do a better job, and it's basically like, hey, screw you, step aside, and what are you going to do? Not much you can do. And just like Elaine said, or my mom said, she says, have you noticed at Walmart, she says, there's beginning to be less and less checkers, human checkers. So everybody's using check yourself out. The self-checkout, they're starting to set that up more and more. And then you have to think about the, which, I mean, I'm not saying that's robots, but I'm just saying that, that's there's, checkers that are losing their jobs because of that. But then you think about that everything is going to be set up on this grid, on this global grid, and it's going to be connected. And in my view, what I believe, what I see, is that when CERN comes back online, full power, that's when it's really going to begin snowball effect, and it's going to be really quick. And CERN will, something will take place that will begin the quantum computing, and it will be carried by the 5G network, and then everything will start. They'll start the decrypting of everybody's information, and reaching into these other dimensions, and it's just going to be an influx, a deluge of information, of knowledge. And it's going to be too much for people. I mean, it's going to be, it's going to do a lot of destruction, an overflow, a flood of information. It'd be like, Noah's flood, or the flood of Noah, but it's going to be a flood of information this time, is the way I see it. I don't know. But it's definitely a great time to be alive, because it's certainly not boring. Randy, you say, I don't remember what the name of the religion is, but I've heard that some people believe that one day robots will do pretty much everything for us. We won't have to work, but we'll somehow be able to still support ourselves or something. I just remember my crazy alarm going off when I was being told this. Yes. Well, that's, it's not so crazy now, is it? And as far as them, as the robots doing everything for us, that we won't have to work, but we'll somehow be able to still support ourselves. The consensus now is you won't have to support yourself because you will be dead. It's pretty simple. And if you watch these, videos, and you listen to these robots, and they don't look like robots, they look like humans. When you hear them talk and what they say, and then you listen to the people talking about how they will start self-coding, self-programming. Now it's it may seem crazy, but it is say right, like, no thank you, that sounds dangerous to me. Yes. And they're saying, Stephen Hawking said, 2016, he said this is the greatest threat humanity has ever faced. He said if they go too far with this, he said they will supersede humans. He says because we are limited in our growth and in our evolution due to our biological, standards hold us back. He says to where they're not going to have that. They're not going to have that holding them back, because they're going to grow, they're going to evolve by knowledge and knowledge alone. So the more data, the more knowledge, the more information that they can soak in, they're going to evolve. And when you think about CERN being where the internet, the World Wide Web, was created, guess who's going to feed them this, unimaginable amount of information so that they do just that? CERN. Yeah. There's a reason, in my opinion, there's a reason why CERN has Shiva, the Hindu goddess, god of destruction, as their, mascot, or as the main, statue outside of CERN headquarters. Hey. In my opinion, there is a reason why that CERN is built on the ancient grounds of Apollo Nacanum. I hope I pronounced that right. Which was the which is said to be the sacred ground of the god Apollo. In Revelation chapter 9, verse 11, believe it or not, it says that that an angel descended from heaven with a key to the bottomless pit and unlocked the bottomless pit, and the name of the angel was, in the Hebrew, it was Abaddon, and in the Greek, it is Apollyon, which means destroyer, which is the same as Shiva, the destroyer. So, when Revelation chapter 9, verse 11, 9:11, has talks about the bottomless pit, and talks about Apollyon, the destroyer. Well, CERN is, again, on sacred grounds of Apollo. And then what CERN is doing is they are opening portals. They've admitted this. I mean, they said, we can send things to other dimensions, or something may come through into our dimension. Pretty much sounds like a bottomless pit to me. A dimensional portal is exactly what the book of Revelation is talking about. It's not talking about a bottomless pit per se. It's talking about a portal, because it says that there are three spirits, three entities that come up out of this pit once it's unlocked, that look like frogs, and they wreak havoc on the world. And notice how it says that the angel descended from heaven with the key to the bottomless pit. Well, the key, it's not a literal key. I mean, it's not like a key and lock. It's just, metaphorically describing something that could very well be taking place on the atomic level, subatomic level, and sounds like CERN to me. Also, one thing too is that CERN, the letters CERN, CERN. I read where that it was originally, or that it may still be, actually OERN, which would be the letters for the Roman Emperor Nero. If it's OERN, then it would be the letters for NERO, Caesar Nero, which was Roman emperor in the time of Peter, Paul, the time of when the book of Revelation was written, and the letters Caesar Nero in Greek have the gematria value of 666. CERN's logo is, if you look at it, it's 3 sixes. I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but when you look at their logo, tell me if you don't see it's pretty much in your face, the 3 sixes on their logo. We'll take a quick break, but we will be right back. But look up those, the CERN logos, or logo, and it's pretty incredible. Creepy too. Yes, Elaine, Pandora's box, you better believe it. And once it's opened, you can't put what comes out back in. We'll be right back. And I'm back. Just to read you here, this is from the New American Standard Version of the Bible. Revelation chapter 9, verse 11, it says, they have as king over them the angel of the abyss. His name in the Hebrew is Abaddon, and in the Greek he has the name Apollyon. That name Abaddon in Hebrew means destruction, and in the Greek it means destroyer. The same thing that Shiva means in Hindu. So, could it be the same thing, just a different version from a different source? Could it be talking about the same energy? And, just because it's talking about these names, it may not be talking about like a demon or an entity per se. It could be talking about, radiation. I mean, it could be talking about a black hole. I mean, and just given these names as a description, it's like I've said before, the Bible is, you have to read it metaphorically. You can't take it literally a lot of times. So that definitely, when it says an angel of the abyss, could be talking about someone who knows how to work the abyss, or how to operate the abyss. It may not be talking about an angel with wings, or could just be talking about an operator knowing how to operate the technological, Large Hadron Collider. Who knows? But it's definitely apparent that something is being opened. Something's being unlocked. Like Elaine, you said, Pandora's box. Yes. And it says, the first woe is past. Behold, 2 woes are still coming after these things. So, that's right. Pandora's box. When it's opened, hey, get ready for hell, because that's what's coming. It's not going to be good. That's one thing too, is when you think about these robots or these AIs, they have no soul, right? I mean, how can they? Which, if consciousness can be downloaded into a computer program or into a cloud, then what's to say, what better description would you have of possession? Spirit possession. Or, I don't know, I might need to rephrase that, or, rename that, consciousness transfer. It's just like, Randy is saying, I was going to be a smart, I can say Lucifer was an angel at one point, but I didn't want to be a negative Nancy. No, that's fine. That's true. I mean, the entity or whatever that is referred to in the book of Isaiah as Lucifer, son of the morning, morning star, it was definitely fell from the heights of heaven with his I wills. I will ascend. I will sit in your seat, and talking to the Creator. That's Ezekiel says that God says, you were perfect in all your ways until iniquity was found in you. He says pride. It was your pride. You fell because of your pride. Basically, you wanted, it wasn't enough for you to be the most powerful created being. You wanted to be the creator. And that's why that, that's why that you're forever gone, But yes, that's true. I mean, but It's yeah. I mean, when you think about that, as far as being able to put human consciousness or consciousness in a computer program, then how much more would you be able to put it into a artificial intelligence vessel like these robots? Yeah, that's very creepy. Or transfer consciousness or whatever anywhere else. It's just like the movies, just like the Matrix. I mean, just like Smith and the agents, they could move anywhere. They could just invade someone's body, or just appear, take their body over. And I don't know if that was because the bodies were holograms or what, but I don't know. But that sounds like something that would be very, it's conceivable if we're in fact in a simulation, and all it needs for everything to get moving, including our 97% of our DNA is, they call it junk DNA because they don't understand it. What if, quantum computing comes along and somehow activates a lot of our latent DNA? Well, that's possible. I believe it's possible. I also believe that our DNA is a program, certainly, but it's a program written by the creator, by the source, by the programmer. Whatever, whoever that truly may be. I mean, it is. Francis and Crick said, when they discovered DNA, they said it didn't originate on Earth. And they said it originated somewhere else, and it was written, and so yeah, that's powerful. It's like a signature. Mona, you say this makes me think of the movie Surrogates with Bruce Willis. I never saw that. What was Surrogates about? Was it like some movie about cyborgs or something along those lines, or what? There's a bit of a lag time, so I'll wait for her to answer. But in the meantime, just think about movies, and if you would please, list them, Mona, Elaine, Randy, that you can think of that was telling about AI, or whether it's a good movie or a bad movie, it doesn't matter. But okay, you say that everyone had a human robot that you download to be you. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. The movie Robin Williams was in, Bicentennial Man, where the robot started to become sentient, start having, real human emotions, and Mona, you say you can control them to be you, work, play, etc. Oh, okay. Kind of like an avatar, right? But it's, if you're male, you can have a female robot. Right. And that's already here. That's already here. See, Elaine, you say AI, Total Recall, I Robot. Yes. And that is, that's another thing, is what happens if, a robot like Sophia goes out and murders someone or several people? Or what if she decides to, hey, what if she, if she says, hey, I think that, my brother and I need to take over, certain computerized, because it's all computerized as far as our, military defense system. What if she says, I think that we need to start World War III? Hey, it could happen. I mean, and, to be honest, I could just see her laughing about it, for some reason. I mean, yeah. If I was like a single guy that, was going to have a female robot made for me, it would certainly not look like her or act like her. She is just, well, first of all, she looks like Jennifer Lawrence. Oh, did I say that out loud? Yeah. Don't care much for her. But Blade Runner, yes. I saw that a long time ago, but yeah, Blade Runner. And they asked Sophia about what she thought about Blade Runner, and she didn't like that. She didn't like that question. Which is, that's creepy. That she, I think it's the smile. She has a very tight, she has a very tight smile or something, and I don't know, but, Space Odyssey, 2001, I think was the one made in 1968. Arthur C. Clarke. No, maybe it was Stanley Kubrick. I don't know. Let me look that up. Yeah, that is. Of course, I mean, what happens? What happens when a robot? I don't know. I mean, how far will it go? I mean, are we talking about in the beginning God created, man? And then, man creates man? I mean, when you look at these robots, their skin, or what appears to be skin, really, when you look at our skin, what is it? It's made up of silicone, different things. What makes it different from their skin? Well, we have a circulatory system, and I can see that. I can see that coming with the robots, with them having all the systems we have in our body. And I don't know. I mean, it's like in the beginning, God created, mankind, and then mankind creates mankind, and then we come full circle. And this is just a theoretical question. Could we be our own God? I mean, could we be our own creator? And is this just Are we reliving? Are we going through memories that we've already lived as some kind of training program? I'm just throwing things out there. 2001, A Space Odyssey. It's a short story by sci-fi author Arthur C. Clarke. And it, when Dr. Dave Bowman and other astronauts are sent on a mysterious mission, their ship's computer system, HAL, begins to display increasingly strange behavior, leading up to a tense showdown between man and machine that results in a mind-bending trek through space and time. So, yeah, pretty creepy. And then there's The Day the Earth Stood Still. Gravity, Interstellar in 2010, The Year We Make Contact. So, Arthur C. Clarke, did he know something that we didn't? Yeah, those are all good. The Matrix, Wall-E, Ex Machina. What about Equilibrium with Christian Bale? Which I don't think that was so much had to do with transhumanism or AI as it did a certain drug or certain element that made people superhuman or something like that. But anyway, it changed people. And more we're beginning to see in movies that there's always something that makes people superhuman, gives them superhuman powers, superhuman strengths, gives them the advantage over everyone else, over the normal, human. And that's something that's going to be offered in the future to everyone, is basically, if you want to keep up, you will do this. You will receive this neural implant. You will receive this chip or this plug that will enhance your cognitive abilities, or that will allow you to see this or that. Hell, it might even be some kind of quantum interface with the quantum computer itself. Or quantum computing itself. I'm not sure, but that's going to be something that is going to be so tempting to so many people, because the alternative is going to be, you're going to be the scourge of the new society if you don't accept it. Imagine your children going to school and, they can't learn like the other kids because they don't have the implant. They don't have the interface to learn like the other children. So they're going to lag behind, which is why so many people are going to do it. I'm going to say, yep, just, give it to them. What's the, nothing bad could happen, right? Whoa. I don't know. Are you willing to take that chance? But there again, that's playing on the limbic system, especially with your children, which will, Transformers, War Games, Tron, it's a big one. Lawnmower Man is another one. Transhumanism, the belief or theory that the human race can evolve beyond its current physical and mental limitations, especially by means of science and technology. Transhumanism is alive and well and spreading very, very quickly with movies such as Transcendence, Avatar, In Time, The Matrix Surrogates, yes, Lost in Space, yeah. What about the movie Event Horizon with Sam Neill, where they have this, they go to rescue the spaceship that's lost, and it's kind of taken on a mind of its own, and it's not good. It was certainly a creepy movie, very creepy, and of course, Sam Neill has that talent, that gift for really being creepy when he wants to be. At least he creeps me out. Anyway, he shows how space can be folded, space-time can be folded, and that two points can be folded into one point and instantaneously reached. And and they do that, and or they discover how to do that, and it leads them to much, much more. And just creepy movie, Event Horizon, which is the premise that when you reach the event horizon, when you reach a certain point in the circumference or the edge of a black hole, that you are pulled in and there's no escape and there's no turning back. It's the pull is so powerful that not even light can escape. It's pulled down into the darkness and black hole. But anyway, so why would all of these movies be made that, like 2001, A Space Odyssey, with the black monolith, and then you've got the D-Wave computers, and the black monolith is on a different planet. It's it has knowledge built into it. I mean, really, what purpose are these movies that are so dead on with that were made years and years ago? They're so dead on now about things that are taking place. Did they know something that we didn't know, or did they have inside information? Seems like it. Seems like they did. But it's crazy times. Let me see something here. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Transhumanism It's abbreviated as H+. It's an international philosophical movement that advocates for the transformation of the human condition by developing and making widely available sophisticated technologies to greatly enhance human intellect and physiology. It's basically to elevate the human condition, and it is denoted, the H plus is humanity plus. So that's what that's where that leads, or that's what that's about. So there's a Forbes article, Transhumanism and the Future of Humanity, and it gives reasons, which we've already discussed, about how that transhumanism, mixing machines with the human body. Okay, Elaine, hope you get feeling better. Thank you. It's basically what they're saying is that that transhumanism is a way to live forever. No death and an enhanced life is the future transhuman. And no death and an enhanced life is the future transhuman. This is from the Guardian. .com. It says no death, and it says the 21st century tech revolution is transforming human lives across the globe. The aims of the transhumanist movement are summed up by Mark O'Connell in his book To Be a Machine. It is their belief that we can and should eradicate aging as a cause of death, and that we can and should use technology to augment our bodies and our minds, that we can and should merge with machines, remaking ourselves finally in the image of our own higher ideals. The idea of technologically enhancing our bodies is not new, but the extent to which transhumanists take the concept is. In the past, we made devices such as wooden legs, hearing aids, spectacles, and false teeth. In future, we might use implants to augment our senses so we can detect infrared or ultraviolet radiation directly, or boost our cognitive processes by connecting ourselves to memory chips. Ultimately, by merging man and machine, science will produce humans who have vastly increased intelligence, strength, and lifespans, a near embodiment of God's. Is that a desirable goal? Advocates of transhumanism believe that there are spectacular rewards to be reaped from going beyond the natural barriers and limitations that constitute an ordinary human being, but to do so would raise a host of ethical problems and dilemmas. As O'Connell's book indicates, the ambitions of transhumanism are now rising up our intellectual agenda, but this is a debate that is only just beginning. There is no doubt that human enhancement is becoming more and more sophisticated and will be demonstrated at the exhibition The Future Starts Here, which opens at the V&A Museum in London this week. Items on display will include powered clothing made by the U.S. company Seismic. Worn under regular clothes, these suits mimic the biomechanics of the human body and give the users, typically older people, discrete strength when getting out of a chair or climbing stairs or standing for long periods. In many cases, these technological or medical advances are made to help the injured, sick, or elderly, but are then adopted by the healthy or young to boost their lifestyle or performance. The drug erythropoietin, EPO, increases red blood cell production in patients with severe anemia, but has also been taken up as an illicit performance booster by some athletes to improve their bloodstream's ability to carry oxygen to their muscles. And it just goes on and on and on. My question, or one thing that I want to point out is that when you take any implant, or you take anything that you add to the human body and it works, such as a chip or computer, what does that tell you? I mean, if it's not running or helping just from electricity itself, such as bioelectricity, then what's powering it? I mean, what's the, I guess what I'm trying to say or ask is, what is the interface? What is the connection? That's kind of makes you wonder if the human body itself is not a form of some kind of machine or computer. Strange. But anyway, well, we've reached the 2-hour mark, and I'm going to call it a night here. Again, I apologize for not sending that link out. I usually do right after the show starts, but not tonight. So anyway, love and light to you all. Love you all. Good night from Texas. See you next time.